Welcome to the MTD Technical Corner. Now today we have the pleasure and the privilege to be reviewing the diamond linear from GRUPPO's PARPAS, supplied to the UK from MTDCNC Technologies. Paul, very small footprint machine, very capable. Tell us about this machine tool and where it really fits in the marketplace.
That's the key to me, is where it fits and who uses this style of machine, because the first thing to identify with, which is crucial really, is how the machine's made. And the way it's made then affects how big it is and what it's capable of doing. But here you can see you've got this like bridge style design, which means your x-axis here is moving left to right. And what that means is that you can have a big working envelope, which is, if it was moving left to right, you'd need more of a footprint for the machine. So what you can see straight away here is actually you've got a large working envelope, but it's in a very, very tight sort of square, because all the movement is coming off of the, off of the columns or off of the head on the machine. So that to me is really important, and I find it quite interesting because engineers often say, I really want a 2 meter, 3 meter x-axis machine, but more importantly, I want a big Y. But I can't get that without going for a machine that's 10, 15, 20 meters long, for example. Probably 20 meters is too far, but do you know what I mean, with a bigger machine? But here you've got that. You've got that Y and you've got that X in almost the same perimeter size.
Now what really stands out for me, and this machine would be perfect for me because it's quite low. It's quite low. It's very low to the ground. Can you tell our audience why this is and what kind of applications this machine tool lends itself to?
I think it's low to the ground because access is important. Getting parts in, okay, you will be able to move, let's say, the Y-axis back and crane components in because the access through the top of the machine. But what about when you want to get onto the table? You want to get and check parts. I know we use a lot of inspection through the machine, with probing and so forth, but there are times you want to get onto the machine, set the job. Large parts that maybe are awkward and you need to clamp in different areas, then getting into the machine is important. So that's a big point, the double door access as well to get into the machine.
Starting from the foundations and staying on the foundations just for one more minute, Paul. It's a steel construction. Why is this, and how important is this?
I would say that it's quite important here because it will be heavier, it will be solid, and it will be to form a rigid construction. And what you haven't got here is 2 meters worth of casting to dampen out vibration. So probably opting for that sort of steel structure to try and give a similar result with less mass, should we say. So that would probably be a way I would think about that. And also what's happening though with this machine is the movement on the X, Y and the Z is coming from elsewhere. It's not coming from the table. And on this point, these are linear motor machines as well. So they're fast and very, very accurate. So all your positioning is coming from all your other axes and you're not having to move the table backwards and forwards.
You mentioned accuracy, and for the applications that these machine tools lend themselves to, accuracy is absolutely key. And we're going to see the machine tool cutting in a minute, Paul. But for mold tools, when you create manufacturing mold tools, GRUPPO's PARPAS are a premium machine tool manufacturer that are renowned for making machine tools for certain applications. How important is it that you get the perfect surface finish and accuracy?
It's massively important because if you imagine you've got mating faces, so you've got your male and your female, and both of those going together need to the fit, the connection between the two. It's imperative in that sort of marketplace. And a machine like this, as you can see it machining here, it is about those extremely tight tolerances and producing those fantastic surface finishes. Here we've got a very small part, but what is also important to put across is this machine can cope with up to 6 tons per square metre in application.
And I was just actually going to mention that. I mean, it clearly illustrates that it's got the finesse to do the small parts on such a massive machine tool, still maintaining the surface finishing accuracy, whether it be a very small mold tool or a very large one.
But integral in that process is the spindle, you know. I mean, and what you need to do is look at the Leader CNC or GRUPPO PARPAS website to find out the finite detail of the specs of the machine when it comes to the rapids, because they're not, you know, critical to this conversation. What is important to put across is how these machines are built, where they're suited for in terms of their application, and this really is for the industry, you know, for the types of parts that we've said. But the spindle on these, yeah, I know you can get 20,000 or even more, and the fact that this spindle technology here is almost like detachable. So if there is a problem with the spindle, there's two parts to it, so it's like a modular solution. You could take one away, repair it, and put it back together without having to go through the arduous task of replacing a whole spindle. Just other little features about the GRUPPO PARPAS that are important.
Absolutely brilliant, Paul. I think it also comes with thermal control to cool the machine tool, which eliminates any expansion.
I think we talk about this application, but I look at this and I do try and think this has got a much wider audience than maybe we're suggesting here. And I think for people that are looking for lots of capacity, but they want to really keep that footprint down, because remember, with a bridge style machine, you know, wherever that spindle is, it's fully supported wherever it goes on the table, because there's no overhang, there's no droop, there's no concerns about that, because, you know, the bridge will move, and so will the spindle to whichever point of the table you need, and it'll have the same stability throughout.
Paul, absolute pleasure. These machine tools are available in Hydradyne or Siemens controls. To find out more, contact Leader CNC Technologies.